One of the things we do get asked quite regularly is how to tie off a belay plate. There are a few different methods, and as ever with climbing it does depend on the context. So the actual situation that you're in will dictate which one of the methods you're going to use, and we're going to look at a few of those now. So the first one is the simplest, and all I'm going to do is tie a large knot in the dead rope here so that it can't get pulled through the belay plate. The context for this then would be I've got to a belay on a multi-pitch route, my partner has seconded the pitch and the two of us want to swap over. They want to lead through, but perhaps it's a very large ledge, it's not a small space where we're worried about them stepping backwards and falling off. So if it's a nice big space, all I'm going to do is pop a overhand knot on the bight in this section of the rope. But I am going to do that while keeping an aggressive grip on the dead rope with it in the brake position. So you can see I've got that here. Next thing I'm going to do is take an arm length of rope, and I'm going to use a sneaky thumb down here to allow me to put an overhand knot in the rope. And I'm just going to work that right down next to the belay plate like that. And now if my partner did step backwards off the ledge, there's a little bit of play in the rope. They're not going to lose their life, they might just need a change of underpants as it comes tight on them. So let's have a look at tying off the belay plate, but this time the system's actually under load, so I don't want any rope to creep through the belay plate, which might happen if we do it with the overhand method that we were just looking at. So the first thing to remember here is this is somebody's full body weight and their life on the end of the line. I don't want to be playing around with a thumb in a first finger or one or two little fingers pinching. I need to have hold of this rope in a strong grip with the belay plate in the brake position. So I'm going to pop my hand here to maintain that, and then with the other hand and take the rope, pop it through here, now what I'm going to do is pull on this rope with a full grip as I piano my fingers out from the thumb towards my little finger. So that way there's no slip in the system, and all the time I've got a full grip on the brake rope. Now at this point it's locked off, but it's only one turn of the rope, so I want to put a few more half hitches in there. So I'm just going to pull the rope through. You'll notice the dead rope is coming out on the right hand side here, and that makes this then a bit easier. I want a arm span of double rope here. And now I'm going to take this around the back bar. Like that. Nice and neat, and you can see I'm working down towards the belay plate, down towards the direction of load. 2 is safe. At that point I could definitely let go of everything. I'd be very happy that there's no way anything could go through there. Personally, I quite like to get 3, and all that tells me is that the tail here is long enough and there's no way it's going to work its way through that system. Some people will show, and some of the books actually show, that you should incorporate this rope down the back bar. It in no way will add to the security of the system at all, because the rope would just slide backwards and forwards through it. And I actually think it makes getting the half hitches around the back bar quite tricky, and it confuses people about which bit of rope they're pulling. So don't worry about that. Just let it sit there out the way, and it's this rope that you need to be focused on. Great, so let's say we've got to this point now and our partner shouts up that they've hurt themselves. They are sitting on the rope, their full body weight's on the rope, and you need to lower them back down to the ground. So again, we're thinking about a single pitch environment here. So I need to release this, but I need to release it under load. So it's important that when I do it, the rope doesn't suddenly jolt through the belay plate. I need to be able to do it in a really controlled manner. So first half hitch, remember we're not too worried about, because this one was a just in case to make sure the length was long enough. Now at this point I'm going to start to become a little bit more wary and back into that idea of my whole hands on the rope. So figuring out where it goes next, I want to grab this section, so I'm going to get again my full fist in and then pull it out. Now because of the way I tie off the belay plate, I know at this point that this rope is the rope that's actually wrapped around the plate. It's the one directly attached to the dead rope. If you're confused, not too sure which one, pull on the tail and one will slide. That's the one you're going to let go of. Hold on to the other one. Now pull this until you're going to get a loop which is about the same size as your fist. Carefully take off my hand. As I do that, I'm checking that this is actually holding, it's not slipping. Great. I'm going to put two hands on here and pull in one swift motion. Great. And now I'm ready to lower my partner back down the route. So we can tie off in front of the belay plate. This is probably simpler, but it's not a system you're going to want to use if you're going to need to put prussaks or anything on for escaping the system. But it is worth showing because it is quite a neat, simple way of tying the plate off if it's just for a moment or two, maybe your partner's trying to get a bit of gear out or something like that. So again, very conscious that I'm holding onto the brake rope with my whole fist in the brake position. Then it's the other hand that's going to do all the work. So I'm going to take a bite of rope and run it around the carabiner. Now I'm going to swap brake hands. So this hand's going to come off, but the other hand is now doing the job. And you can see I've really got that rope in an aggressive hold here. Put a bit of rope through. And all I'm going to do now is tie a series of half hitches down the rope. Again, I need to be careful. So at this point here where I want to take my hand out, I'm pianoing. So I'm going to just get that nice and tight. And then 2 is locked off. There's no way that that's going to go through there. 3 just means I've got a long enough tail. So it's a little bit easier. Some people find that easier than tying off around the bar.